Welcome back to Degenerate Discussions. Again, I've got my buddy Libby here today with me.
Yo.
We're matching because tan pants are dope and maroon shirts are better than like white and black and other nonsense like that everybody else wears.
I mean, first of all, maroon is manly. Second of all, gotta show love. It was recently National Airborne Day, so gotta pay some homage to my roots and the homies.
I
And
never jumped out of perfectly good airplanes. I drove
I,
perfectly good trucks.
I would say jumping out of perfectly good airplanes is good for you, but my spine would disagree. It's one of the most rewarding things I've ever done. One of the most surreal experiences I've ever had. Uh, but yeah, no, I something about the maroon beret especially just looks so compared to the black army beret.
All I can think of is that show. It's like something Heroes. It's about Patty Mayne. It's
I don't
like
know that I've seen it.
I think it's on the HBO or something like that. I've wanted to watch it, but I've not gotten into it because I don't want to pay for it.
Mm.
But because he's Irish, at one point he talks about like the way that he says the maroon beret is like the the maroon beret. It's like just it hits way better when he does it because he's practicing. I'm going off the
Yeah,
cuff, having not seen it in a while. Maroon beret.
yeah, I don't know. There's something about it though that just, especially because the airborne, like they don't follow army standards on how to actually wear it. Parallel to a marching service and all that. It's always going to be like cockeyed and aggressively forward and kind of. I don't know. But it looks mean and I like it.
I liked having
We look goofy, but it look
I
mean.
wore them in ROTC in high school. It was JROTC, but it was
Hmm.
Air Force. Everything was blue. But I'd throw like my big insignia up there and then like pull that thing down tight. And I mean like cover the whole right ear tight.
Oh yeah.
Oh, they hated it. It's like, what are you doing? It's like, man, I got this thing drugged down hard.
See, it's one of those on inspection days, right? I can get away with shaving with an electric razor right beforehand because after about an hour, I had noticeable 5 o'clock shadow.
Yeah.
But if I shaved right beforehand, it would be just short enough to where it looked like a clean shave. But there's just enough of that prickly texture that the felt from the beret would stick to it.
Oh yeah.
And it would just stay sharp. I felt I had built in Velcro. It was kind of dumb, but
I
I
know how
enjoyed
that
it.
is because
Yeah.
this just a little bit. It's like 2 days old, and it would just grab onto cap and cover and hold everything in place. I've still got two of my covers are up there above your head.
Oh yeah.
My old bus driver hats.
I will say, I feel like the Marines have the best dress uniforms. Pinks and greens are pretty sharp,
Pinks and
but
greens are sharp, but then blues they go hard. The one thing I do kind of miss, like World War II era guys, with like everything was cocked off to one side or the other. Like
yep.
none of them were standardized, and like that piss cutter knocked off to one side instead of right down the middle. It looks so much better.
Oh
It looks
yeah.
so cool. I couldn't wear it like that. It drives me nuts because of the way my hats need to feel.
Well, I used to have a hard part when when I was trying to figure out like other hairstyles that I could wear with my beret because a lot of times with how often we're taking it on and off, like you start getting, crazy ducktails and stuff
Yeah.
like that. So, a gratuitous amount of gel and a nice good hard part with a clean fade. That hard part was my line for my beret to ride on.
Nice.
So taking it on and off, I had that known spot to where it's not really gonna mess up my hair, and if it does, it's just a quick fix.
Hmm.
Which, at the end of the day, sounds kind of dumb, whatever, but it's one of those trying to maintain that professional standard and looking professional or as much as you can.
I got hair finer than hen's teeth, so there was no chance of anything like a hard part or anything like that. It just, for a while, it almost grew like Trunks' hair from DBZ. where it just like kind of comes out and then falls down.
Yep. See, I'm fortunate enough to have just a little bit of that Mexican and native in me to where I can still tan, and I have thick hair that could actually like have texture and I can actually style.
Well, see, the hair is incredibly straight because of the Native American, but then it's blonde and fine because of German.
See, my dad, he's Irish Welsh,
Yeah,
and he had when growing up, he had that thick wavy red hair.
I was gonna say he can also grow a Brillo patch on his back.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. He and Jack Sparrow could both make rope.
Yeah,
But nah, I don't know, genetics are weird, man.
they are. The one that something I was thinking about recently is like licensing schemes. Um, Reason TV did a short bit on it with Andrew Heaton, talking about like you should really only need licenses for things that's either going to make like you die or explosions. And there's a lot of stuff that requires licensing that won't make electricity shoot out of your dick hole.
Or fucking, like obviously doctors, medical professionals need licensing.
Yeah,
Like
things that make you die really easy.
yeah, if listen, it's very easy for someone to die when you're trying to save their life, or just do a routine procedure, one wrong make.
Yeah, well, they're already in the process of dying sometimes, and you're doing your best to cheat death.
Which can be very tricky. But dude, yeah, no, it's you know, nursing having different licensing for based off of your state instead of it being a federal standard, like that to me feels like a scheme.
Yeah, like OSHA for
Yeah, OSHA's a federal standard.
yeah, like but and then even then some states will be like, "Oh, you've got to have a separate license to hang drywall." And other states you don't. And it's like, why are we making things different? Um we have a guest with us in the studio today. It's Mr. Tank. He's now laid down in front of the camera watching us like it's a TV show.
Yeah, but
Because it's a TV show.
he's getting a little bit more comfy with me.
Yeah. Don't chew on the cords. Hey, don't chew on cords.
Yeah, we
We're
don't
gonna
need
talk.
electricity going straight through your dick hole.
Yeah. The
We're just talking about that.
and so it's one of those things like I don't need a license to be a machinist, but I can get a cert. But I need a license to cut someone's hair or cut someone's fingernails.
Yeah, that is kind of wild, the fact that we can run machinery and make just about anything and not require a license for that.
Yeah.
But yet in the army to cut grass, you have to have that added to your military license. The fact that you could operate a drivable lawnmower.
Every different truck in the military, and I don't mean like 7-ton Humvee LVS or LVSR.
2-door, 4-door, like where I'm talking about, like a 2-door Humvee and a 4-door Humvee, or a
Are two different licenses.
Yep.
Like, what are we doing?
Or like
Really?
we could have two of the same exact trailers, but one of them has a different, like one of them might be carrying water or something, and the other one might just be an open trailer, but the same exact chassis, same axle, same overall tow capacity weight.
You've got to have a tanks license for this one with water in it.
Yeah, you've got to have separate licenses for each one of those trailers too. It's crazy.
The only separate trailer license that makes any sense to me, and it's less on the fact that it's tank, like fluid tanks, not like tanks we drive down the road.
Yeah.
Funny enough, that's why we call them tanks, just to hide that shit back in World War II. But that's not the point. Back to where we were at. A tank trailer versus a standard trailer is 2 licenses. But then you also have to get a hazmat license to drive the tank trailer with the gasoline in it.
Yep. Or transport ammo. And that's
Which-
also a separate type of hazmat license, if I remember correct.
It might have been in the Army. It was not in the Corps.
Okay, so
was-
hazmat is just hazmat, but then
Yeah.
there's
but that didn't make you qualified to store hazmat.
or transport,
Just drive it.
or there's also certain CBRN certs. I imagine you'd have to separate.
Yeah. But that comes down. So the different CBRN stuff falls under the same hazmat license. It's just extra training. for
Mm,
how to handle what you're carrying, because
got it.
all the placards are all the placards. But
Mm.
it's like, oh, if you're hauling, I can drive a fuel trailer through a tunnel. I can't drive ammunition through a tunnel. That's the
Gotcha.
little intricacies in extra add-on classes, which those kind of make sense because they're not changing the license. They're
Yeah.
just a stamp. A stamp like we have on our regular license. If you got a driver's license, you get motorcycle, you stamp motorcycle. You don't get a separate piece of plastic.
Yeah.
You don't have to reprint out your entire license sheet length and breadth because you added a new truck.
Yeah.
It's obnoxious. I had 10. I think it was 10 licenses.
Yeah. No, it's kind of crazy. Like, hunting and fishing license. I don't really understand the need for a fishing license outside of that's just a way to generate revenue.
That's all it is.
But like I could understand for if you're going to fish certain species, right? Like in Alaska, you had to have a king salmon stand.
Bag limits.
But that's the thing is you set bag limits.
Like we're doubling up on things. Bag limit says I'm going to jail if you catch me doing wrong anyway. But then you're gonna stack a license on top of it that says we're gonna take you to joke my buddy made for a fishing license. Like, woo! Sir, you
Yep.
know how fast that line was going? Do you have a hook on the end of that? That could hurt a fish.
Yep.
Oh, you got a license? Oh, in that case, it's fine. It won't hurt the fish no more.
Yeah.
Really? Like, it's so stupid. That's a revenue stream.
Yeah, and it's like, okay, I don't have a problem funding fish and wildlife. I think it's severely underfunded. And, if that is if that licensing racket is the only means of their funding, I hate to concede on this one, but I don't mind paying for that. It's just frustrating that that's what it came down to. Like I think hunter safety is important, especially for kids to go through and stuff like that, but that can kind of be separate from.
Well, it's the fact that they've already got taxes allotted to that. And then they need this on top of it.
Yeah, there's not enough tax allocation on that in my opinion.
Yeah.
But that's just me having a very soft spot for outdoors in general, and the Fish and Wildlife Service is one of the few people or government entities that I genuinely try to support.
Like, I love, like, I don't like the fish and wildlife guys, and I really don't like the enforcement arm of the DNR. But just like the way they go about it, you could just apportion taxes better.
Yeah,
For the amount that they take in, apportion it better. I don't know how we go about doing that because they won't tell anybody really what they're apportioning stuff to. And so it's like you guys are hiding money and it's a shell game now. And my parks look like shit. If I'm paying taxes for the parks, don't short them on the taxes that I'm paying and then make them have to do a licensing scheme.
a big part of that too is the fact that the taxes I feel like go to the park before the employees, which is as it kind of should be to a degree. But the fact that as a federal employee, you're basically making minimum wage, not a like effectively to a degree that like when I was looking at it as a potential career post army, I was like, for the amount of what you can and should be doing throughout your day with those jobs, that is not an appropriate amount of money for
No.
that, especially because you're going to be out there in all types of bad weather. You're going to be out there with ticks and mosquitoes and all of the things that can potentially spread disease. So it is a much more at-risk job than people tend to realize. On top of that, you never know what you're going to deal with day to day.
Yeah.
You might deal with a missing person one day. You might deal with, a rock slide the next. Like, you never know. And it's, though I feel like there needs to be the employees there need to be paid more so that and there needs to be more opportunities for hire
Yeah.
because at a much more livable wage, that way they can get the manpower support that the parks need, and that would be a better allocation of the funds, I feel like, right now,
Yeah.
versus what are they really going to?
Exactly. Like I don't need 15 extra, like $10,000 concrete toilets in the middle of the woods.
No, it's the fucking woods. Shit.
Yeah.
Go poop outside. It's okay.
It's like send people out. Oh, you're going out for like 3 days. Here's a complimentary shovel that we bleach every time we get it back. Dig a hole and cover it back up.
Yep. Here's some biodegradable toilet paper. Do not, for the love of God, bury your baby wipes. And do not do it anywhere near a running water source or still water source. Nowhere near
Don't
water.
do it near water. But yeah, like there's, and it's also another one of those. I don't dislike the idea of a park ranger, but I hate the implementation of a park ranger. Because if I'm gonna walk up a trail and you're standing at the trail, I know how to walk through the tree line, and I can get back up to the trail past you. If there's no punishment for something like that, then the guy at the gate is standing there being a state paid dickhead purely for the sake of being a dickhead right there. Because he has no recourse if I go past him. So it's either he needs to have recourse or he needs to just be there as a warning and be like, hey, this one's a little more dangerous. Don't be retarded. Instead of being a dickhead about it.
Yeah, no, absolutely. To me, a park ranger, what they should be doing, because I'm definitely for them, but for the right, like for certain reasons and certain applications, like they should definitely be there to let people know, hey, this is, if you're going to go down this trail or try to make your own to a degree, if you're going to make, head your own direction that's off the beaten path,
Let's check your gear, set up a plan. Like that way we know where you're going to be if we need to come try and find you.
Like, give me the direction that you're going to try to go, so that way, like,
in 3 days when your family comes calling, we know where to go.
Yeah, and it's like they should be there for that, and like they really should be there to, make sure people aren't destroying the parks, causing wildfires, trashing the place. And like that is where most of their responsibility should lie, upkeeping the trails, which is something that they do. That is a big part of their job.
Clearing out underbrush is something I wish they were allowed to do at a larger scale.
Yes.
Because like we've got parks that catch on fire every year. It's like, well, why'd they catch on fire? Well, the tree huggers 50 years ago said we shouldn't haul out the dead stuff. So every year the dead stuff catches on fire. And it's sickening because shit dies every day.
Yep. And then it dries out and rots, and then hits a point of one wrong spark somewhere or one flash of lightning because of, a lot of wildfires can, start with lightning. And that doesn't mean, and wildfires don't mean that they're massive.
Grass or some shit in there.
Yeah.
Just clean up dead trees that are dead trees.
I mean, shit, turn around, chop it up, and then sell it to the campers as firewood.
Exactly.
And it's a self-feeding system. That can replace the cost of
that helps eat the cost of some of the other shit.
Yeah,
because now you're doing some capitalism.
Well, yeah, because that right there would potentially offset the cost of the hunting and fishing license, and then even if it's just a certificate through the state to learn about the ecosystem, what you're fishing for, and have a better understanding and knowledge base versus, oh yeah, I paid this money so I can not get a ticket to go fish.
Yeah, I went on Walmart and printed out my fishing license for $20.
Yeah, which
I've done that,
and it's like, okay, how many people do that and still have no idea how to clean a fish?
Anything.
They don't know what they're catching. They don't know if what they're catching is safe to eat or how to prepare it. Like, all of that type of education of like, hey, if it's bass, great for a fish fry, or bluegill, great for a fish fry. If you're gonna get a trout, here's a great, smoking it, or like even just telling safe temperature points to eat the fish at.
Yeah. You're gonna be
or how to
in the
identify.
Pacific Northwest. here's salmon. Here's the best way to prefer. Like, here's ways to cook it so you don't get sick.
Yep.
Things of that nature. And like that, I'm not opposed to. But I think with things of that nature, there should be electives that people can do to learn more about it.
Oh,
But there
absolutely.
needs to be like a mandatory elective in like every high school in the country about like, okay, this is woodshop. You're going to know what tools are. You're going to know how to safely use them. You might not cut a single piece of wood in the class, but you're going to take woodshop and you're going to learn about it. That way you know what you're doing.
Well, even if it's not necessarily woodshop, like I was kind of thinking about it, and what if instead of instead of just a woodshop, it was a more of a generalized handyman's type of course where they teach you how to troubleshoot basic appliances,
Yeah.
and through all of that, you still learn how to develop, use tools and stuff like that, but then you still are developing a more well-rounded skill set for young adulthood for to set you up a little bit more for independence.
Home ec, but with less cooking and folding of clothes and more doing other stuff that's around the house. Not that the cooking and folding clothes is not helpful. I think everybody should do that as well.
But culinary should be its own class that I think everyone should take because
Oh
it's
yeah,
important to know how to cook. You don't not everyone has to be a Michelin star chef, but like you should I feel like everyone should be able to at least prepare a meal for themselves with basic ingredients. And
do more than ramen noodles.
yeah, more than ramen noodles or, mac and cheese or McDonald's. Like I feel like those life skill sets need to be taught in school. But like how is it that you don't necessarily you need to get your degree in teaching, but do you need a license for teaching?
I think it goes as certifications that have to renew every 5 years.
I have no idea, so I'm asking questions. I asked that question out of pure ignorance because I don't know.
Yeah, because well, so like our instructors at the
Hmm.
school that we go to, it's different. But like my mother, my whole life she taught pre-K,
Hmm.
2 year olds mostly, and 3 year olds. She didn't have like a license piece of paper license like what we would think of, but there were certifications that were kept at like the county courthouse or whatever on hand government wise, and they would be uh, evaluated like every 5 years or so just to make sure nothing's changed, nothing's gone wonky. You're still capable of teaching, but it's not a license.
Okay, yeah, because for high school teachers and stuff like that, I don't know if that requires a license or not, and if it doesn't, that's kind of
Of all the things that require a license, why doesn't that one?
yeah,
You're in charge
absolutely.
of the future kids.
Well, it's like you just understanding how to better interact and teach whatever age range you're trying to teach at, like having a license to do so because
Well, it's less license. I know that they have to have a degree,
yeah.
um, but I don't know how far you have to go. Like,
Like I don't know if you can just do it with an associate's or if you need a master's. I have no
yeah,
idea.
it's like what you only need an associate for elementary school, and then you need a bachelor's for middle school, and you might be able to get away with a bachelor's for high school, but then for anything else, you need a master's. Like, how do we square this up? I had a music teacher in my elementary school who was way overqualified for teaching elementary school because she was my mother's uh, music teacher in college.
Whoa.
Why are you playing with the cord, puppy? Can you stop playing with that cord? As you're here playing with my foot as well. Can you not do that? Sir. Sir.
You missed your tank.
Sir.
You can
Oh
let
my
go.
sock. Silly boy. Um but yeah, and so it's like while theirs is less of a license, it's still a degree. But that doesn't tell me whether or not this person is going to teach their political beliefs in the classroom. I don't think any student should know their teacher's political beliefs.
No, absolutely not.
The children should be educated enough to be able to infer their teachers' political beliefs, but they should not. Uh, just because I'm gun-toting, freedom-loving American, I shouldn't be walking around my school with uh, GOA or I think it's FPC
Mm-hmm.
or NAGR. I'm not going to put those flags up in my room just because it's what I believe in. I don't think anybody else should put up their flags in a room just because it's what they believe in.
See, the problem is with the general populace and people when it comes to schools is if you teach kids these are your rights as an American.
Yeah.
You have the right to bear arms. You have the right of free speech. There's a lot of pushback against that when it's objectively correct.
Oh yeah.
Like that is not me spewing political belief one way or the other. If I am explaining this is literally the Constitution, this is your Bill of Rights, this is what your rights are entitled to, whether I believe in it or not.
Yeah. Well, so that bringing up licensing, one of the things I want to talk about is firearm licensing throughout the United States.
FFLs are wild.
But another situation with that is, I lost the train where I was going, but I'm still kind of on the right track. If we had a class in schools that was like a mandatory elective, which is an oxymoron, I know, but they have mandatory electives. You got to take a PE class every year. It's a mandatory elective. Well, then that's not an elective.
No, it's just a mandatory class.
But so in that firearms class, I would expect there to be like, hey, these are the different organizations in the country. We're going to make the NRA flag the smallest because they are the most bastardized from what they're supposed to be, but they'll still be there. Do you know why the NRA started?
No.
So, fun thing, end of the Great American Scrimmage, they realized that the boys in the South shot better than the boys from the city up north, which is why that there were more losses on the north than the south due to gun like weapons in general, not just disease and things of that nature. But it's like these guys shoot better because they have to. It's where they live. So we're going to start the National Rifle Association to teach city boys how to shoot guns. That way, if this ever happens again, it's not just a one-sided fist fight, because we see how guns are going and we see how cities are, and it's very quickly going to become a one-sided gunfight, which we don't want. If anything ever happens, people need to have guns. They need to know how to use them. Even if they don't own them, they know what they are and they know what they're doing. And then I think it was in the 1960s that the NRA kind of pivoted and focused more on the legislative side, which they almost never pushed back against regulation ever under any circumstances, which is kind of like the opposite of what they claimed they were there for. But they weren't supposed to be legislative pushing at all. They're just there to be educational. And now, if you become an NRA CCW instructor, what's that third word? CCW.
To carry weapons?
If you say the word weapon as an instructor in the CCW course for the NRA, they will take your instructor license away. It's concealed carry pistol or handgun. Because other concealed weapons might be brass knuckles, which are illegal in some states. It's so stupid. It's so dumb.
I really thought that was a trick question. That's why there was such a question mark on weapon. I was like,
Yeah.
where are you going with this?
Yep.
No.
Hey, so bad. But it's like, and then that goes into the licensing. I don't need a license to carry in the state.
No, it's constitutional carry.
If I go to New York and I pick up a gun at a gun store, hello going to jail.
I mean, first of all, yeah.
Like being not a New York resident of the state, if I pick up a gun anywhere in the state,
Do they have Floyd cards up there?
I'm not sure.
Because Illinois does.
Yeah, I know that Illinois got the you can't buy ammo unless you buy this after you bought your gun.
Oh, dude, no. So the Floyd card, right? You have to how? You have to submit your background check, right? And your driver's license and all that to the state police,
Yeah,
and then the state police run it, and it takes months sometimes to get it back.
which makes no
And
sense.
then they send you your firearms owner identification card, which is like this gold-looking driver's license thing, which is cannot be used as a form of identification anywhere else, as far as I'm aware.
That's weird.
But in order to even touch a gun at the gun store,
Yeah,
or to buy ammo, to buy anything, Floyd card, you have to show it, and you basically leave it there on the counter the whole time.
yeah, that's obnoxious. The when I was going for bartending here in Nashville, you have to get your ABC license,
Mm-hmm.
and in there's a class and training, and it's like, I need a license to pour booze. Are you kidding me? Really? Another license? We've got to make sure you're not going to overserve somebody. Really? I can get sued anyway. What do you care past that? I lose my license to bartend, and so now I can't pour drinks in public? What? If that's a bad enough crime, we should be throwing a lot of people in prison.
Yeah.
But it's not a bad enough crime. It's just an inconvenience and a revenue stream.
Well, here's the thing, though. The liquor license also covers the employees there, and it's not an individual thing.
Yeah.
So, like, as long as the business has the liquor license, I can go over there and fucking be a bartender for all intents and purposes.
Yeah. But the company can lose its liquor license if you don't have your ABC license, which is obnoxious.
Which it's like, why doesn't?
But
Why wouldn't the company like if you're going to hire someone to be your bartender, and if that license is required,
trained?
why wouldn't you be the one paying and providing that training?
Yeah.
I mean,
It's
if it's
true.
required anyway, you might as well be the one to be like, okay, here's the program that we know and trust. We have a partnership set up.
Yep.
You know, where it's a tax write-off for them as long as you do.
If half the people working there have attended this license, it's kind of like a health insurance thing.
Yeah.
Half the people don't smoke, you get a better rate on your insurance.
Yeah.
I have a tiny kitty just being silly.
I know he keeps attacking my foot. So if you see me making weird faces or if I say ow or anything, it's just because he's very playful with my foot, but his claws are getting stuck in my sock.
Yeah, he doesn't know how to retract them very well. He's still not a year old. But yeah, so it's just really aggravating with the licensing thing and the fact that, well, what I was saying when I got the license for bartending, a concealed carry permit is legal for purchasing alcohol in the state of Tennessee.
That's neat.
So if you roll up and it's like, oh man, I left my driver's license at home, but I've got my concealed carry permit on me. Oh, well, that counts.
I'm looking up if a Ford card can be used as a legal ID in Illinois.
We're going to see how this goes because this could be fun.
Okay, so according to, the overview, an Illinois firearms owner identification card is a state-issued photo identification, but is not a universally accepted general legal ID or substitute for driver's license. While it features a photograph and is issued by the state police and usually requires a driver's license or state ID to be submitted anyway, its acceptance for routine identification entirely depends on the specific institution or business. So,
He's his tank. He doesn't want to be held right now.
opinions and practices are mixed. It is sometimes accepted for specific civic processes like voting or by the TSA airports as a secondary government issued photo ID, but it is explicitly rejected by the Illinois Secretary of State for obtaining or renewing a driver's license or standard state ID. So I can use it as a backup form of ID, according to this,
If
in the
people are
airport.
willing to take it. If the guy at the airport wants to take it.
Yeah, but like, even though it's issued by the state, and
the
they're
state doesn't accept it.
oh my god, that just I'm about to stronk out. Yeah, Illinois is one of the most back-assward states I've. The
So bad.
best thing to come out of there is the fact that I met my wife.
Yeah. My buddy that lives in Illinois is actually going to be moving sometime in the next 5 years. Or it might be in 5 years. So it might be 2031 when they move. I don't know. But they're moving to Kentucky.
Good. My buddy Tatey, the one I went to his bachelor party and getting ready to go to his wedding here soon.
Yep.
Congrats to him again. He's I'm really trying to convince him to move down here. And it's unfortunate because he just bought his first house right next door to the house that he grew up in. Literally the next one over. So that's pretty cool for him. But it's one of those where he knows how beneficial it would be for him. And even down to the hobbies he likes to do, like rock crawling. Tennessee, Kentucky, this whole area is a wonderful spot for that.
Yep.
You know, the tax situation here in Tennessee is pretty awesome.
You can roll from distillery to distillery as long as you got a DD.
Yeah. So, I mean, and in the state of Tennessee, unless they change the law, passengers can drink.
Yep, they absolutely can.
So,
as long as there is not a beverage open and immediately within arm's reach of the driver.
Yep. It's a backseat.
Passenger seat.
Yeah. A passenger seat.
He's holding it.
Yeah, holding it by the window. So it's as far away, you know, not like it's just right there being ready to pass me. So, yeah, no, Tennessee's a pretty wild state for a lot of reasons. And I do enjoy the fact that
they still don't allow open containers for walking around. I don't get it. With Broadway, moving from one bar to another with a plastic cup, like, who cares?
The whole public intoxication thing has always been a little weird to me because it's like, how can I get a ticket or get arrested for public intoxication if I'm not driving? And if I'm not necessarily causing a ruckus to anyone, if I'm just happen to be drunk in public. But yet, it's not illegal for someone to serve me alcohol in public.
Yeah.
How
I wanted to be drunk in a bar. Arrest them.
Like
the old Ron White bit.
You know, it's one of those where it just doesn't. That does not make any sense to me. Like,
yeah.
Either make bars illegal, so that way the public intoxication. It's like, okay, they had to have left their house.
Yeah.
They didn't leave a place of business legally.
Yeah, because the bar is still public.
Yeah.
It is a quote-unquote private establishment, but there is no... Much like walking down the street, inside of an establishment, there is still no expectation of privacy.
Yeah. Yeah, if I'm in a bar on Broadway, if I'm on a rooftop bar
in Broadway, now if you're hucking fucking beer bottles, that's one.
Yeah, like I said, now obviously if you're
assault and littering,
disorderly conduct,
yeah,
you know, like there's a lot of other ones disturbing the peace that fall in line. But if I just happen to be weeble wobbling while I'm walking down Broadway, but if I'm not
bumping into people all the time. I'm not
harassing people. You know, I'm just kind of weeble wobble in my way, having a good time, whatever. Like, and this is coming from someone that doesn't drink, mind you.
Yeah.
Like,
well, you can still weeble wobble.
Yeah, weeble wobble, weeble wobble, weeble wobble, whoa. But yeah. But, you know, of course, you know. Be like Snoop Lion.
Yeah. The only thing I can ever think about is that Smoke Two Joints in the Morning song.
I smoked 2 joints before I smoked 2 joints,
And
and
I
then
smoked two
more.
more. Well, it's like at the beginning, it's like,
And
it
they,
appears that they were smoking marijuana cigarettes. Reefers.
dude, they.
Such a stupid song.
But that's one of those I never understood it. There's a lot of. Okay, so I view a lot of like tickets. I put them in the same category as why the fuck is there a license for that?
Yeah.
Like
It's draconian and a revenue stream.
it's well that and it's a pay to play.
Yeah.
It's not necessarily illegal. It's just this is the cost to do it.
Yeah. Legal for a fee.
Mm-hmm. If it's not a felony, chances are it's just legal for a fee.
Yeah.
And that's a really like.
And depending on the felony and who you are, it's still legal for a fee. You can get away with it.
Epstein didn't kill himself.
Nope. He might very well be dead, but he definitely did not kill himself.
He also might be alive. Who knows?
Could be. Well, so I was listening to Angry Cops, and if you think about, so Jeffrey Epstein was still relatively young in the industry that he was in. Like, he wasn't an old man. He wasn't getting ready to like pass on his tricks of the trade like Ghislaine's father did with
Mhm.
him, because obviously that's what happened. He passed it over to Epstein. If he doesn't have somebody lined up that has all of his backups, the whole industry that he's blackmailing just comes together and says, what if they put on a war and nobody shows up? We just kill him. We know he doesn't have backup. It just goes away. It's like, that makes way more sense than him making it out of that prison alive, to me. Now, he could have had a backup, and they could have known that he had a backup, and he walked out alive because of a backup, and they strung up a body double. That's absolutely possible. But I'm thinking he didn't have a backup yet, and they just paid the dude 50 honey buns to kill him. And that's why the cameras went out.
Yeah, I don't know. That's just one of those. All I know is he didn't kill himself.
Yeah.
And pedophiles are not people.
Yeah, narcissists do not kill themselves. They love themselves too much.
You ask a narcissist if they are one, they'll be like, I don't know what that word means, but I'll be the best one there ever was.
Yeah. Fargan bastages. Oh.
Yeah, legal pay to play.
Licenses, and well, like, yeah, it's all just pay to play because the license is set up by the people who would need the license in the first place. And there's a lot of places that I forget the exact word for it, but essentially, if you want to open a new something in that area, everyone else who's in that line of work in that area gets to come in and say whether we need another one or not. And
Nah.
it's like, that's just wrong.
Yeah,
They
that's
primarily do it with hospitals.
that's entirely wrong. That is not a free market at that point.
Like, could you imagine if someone's like, hey, I'm going to make a military. And then the country next to them says, well, you don't need a military because I've got a military. I mean, granted, that's what the United States has basically done. It's like, you guys don't have to build up because I'm here. And they took that and ran.
I mean, that's also, I don't know. That would not bode very well, I feel like. I feel like that would just push for a military conflict out of spite.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, you're saying I don't need a military? I'm gonna build one just so I can take yours away.
Well, it's like, with the idea of not needing one, there's like people that are on good footing. So, like, Mexico just continued all their fighter jets, discontinued. And they're like, what are you going to buy next? It's like, fuck you mean, what are we going to buy next? We ain't going to buy shit. What do you mean? America is right there. anybody attacks us and you're threatening their sovereignty because you attacked Mexico, we don't need an air force. They've got us covered, which I understand. They now get to spend more money on other stuff like healthcare, which is fantastic. They might be able to build a modern hospital somewhere other than Mexico City. Maybe. They might just embezzle all of it too.
Well, they're also, they also, Mexico has the comfort of knowing they could always have the backing of the BRICS system. And
Depending on how much longer that thing lasts.
until then, though,
Yeah.
knowing that they could always fall back on the support of Russia and China, and they can sell themselves if they need to.
Yeah. Brazil, Russia, India, China. Not Saudi Arabia. Who's the S?
I don't remember. It might be. I don't know. Let me see.
Singapore? No, it wouldn't be Singapore.
Let's look.
I don't remember. It's been forever. Because BRICS is
Brazil, China, Egypt, Ethiopia, India, Indonesia, Iran, Russia, Saudi Arabia, South Africa, and United Arab Emirates.
So it was Saudi. Okay.
Original members were Brazil, Russia, India, China, South Africa.
So they so I remember the India. I didn't remember South Africa being part of that.
And so, having the potential backing of that system if America decides not to support, Mexico has the ability to do whatever they really want to do. Unfortunately, well, I don't say unfortunately, good for them, but I just wish that it was a safer place for the citizens there to live at.
Yeah. The only people who are safe in Mexico are the cartels. And I don't mean like the low-level cartel guys. Those guys are getting fucked up regularly. The heads and their immediate families and the 10 or 20 dudes that they actually like are the only ones that are safe. And they're only safe as long as they're liked.
I mean, there are some. Most of the touristy spots are still pretty safe, right? You go to Cancun or anywhere that a cruise ship goes and has an excursion at, chances are that's going to be a safe area.
Any place that is regularly frequented by
Americans.
It's like a similar situation with the Russia and Ukraine thing. And Donald Trump is sitting there looking at Zelensky and he's like, I can't give you guarantees of American troops on the border, but I can put American civilians along the border. And Zelensky's like, I need a guarantee of American troops. It's like, I can give you unarmed white people along the border that other people don't want dead. I need troops. It's like, bitch, shut the fuck up. I'm giving you a bulletproof vest. Because if they attack, they're going to hit Americans. And you know what happens when you shoot Americans? Unless you're Israel. We kill you. Yeah, Israel. I want an apology for that boat. They touched a boat and got away with it. Tried to blame it on Egypt.
I don't know. I will comfortably say I've grown rather tired of global politics, and
Yeah.
it's one of those where I don't want any of my friends to go fight a petty war or a war that we shouldn't be in.
Yeah.
And I just want America to focus on America for a bit. That's all I want. Aside from that, I'll be honest, I don't really keep up a lot with global politics these days, or I try my best not to because it's too easy to focus on and too easy for me to get depressed over.
Yeah.
And I've worked very hard to not be depressed. So it's to a degree choosing to stay a little ignorant, which I don't necessarily like, but
A mindset that I would like is not necessarily the isolationism pre World War One and what we tried to get back to post World War One, pre World War Two. I want us to trade with other countries, and I want other countries to buy arms if they want to buy arms. And if they don't, I don't care.
We're really good at making them.
But I also want it to be, if there's ever an attack on American soil, in 48 hours, the country that attacked basically ceases to exist. Like, oh, you have 300 people in parliament and you've got 30 people right around the leader who are also running things, like the leader's cabinet. All of those people cease to exist. And the rest of the country is then, you guys, we're going to give you some money to rebuild the buildings that we blew up, and you get to try again. And if you attack us again, we're going to do the same thing. And we're going to give you a little bit of money. You can rebuild. Leave us alone. I want that type of. When we go to war, we go to war. Otherwise, we're not going to war. Like the Beirut, Lebanon bombing, the Marines back in the 80s.
Mm-hmm.
We didn't. We know who trained them. We know who funded it. We didn't blow up Iran then when they had it coming. And now we're still dealing with the death to America people. God damn it. That's my only, like, I don't want to get involved in wars, but if we do get involved, the rest of the world does not get to dictate how we handle the people in charge.
I tend to agree, unless.
Because I don't have a beef with the people.
Well, it's like, unless you're the person paying my bills, you don't have an input on what I do. You don't have an input on how I spend my money. You don't get to tell me how to live my life.
Yep.
So very much so, especially if we're expected to be the global police anyway. It very much so should be a last resort for America to be involved in pretty much anything. And if we get involved, I feel like we used to handle it to a degree the correct way, which is we're going to if we're involved, it's because you really, really provoked us, and we're going to bring this fight to a screeching halt as quick as we can.
Yeah.
And that is, I don't like the idea of unnecessary force. I don't like the idea of innocent casualties. Unfortunately, that will always be a byproduct of war. And it is a very sad reality, but that is the byproduct. And yeah, you don't like that, Tank? It's okay. I don't really like it either, bud. That's why we shouldn't be involved unless absolutely necessary.
Exactly. So you know about the V2 Spirit, the Batwing?
Mm-hmm.
Did you hear what we did with one a couple years back?
The modernization?
No, like a physical action that we did with one.
Oh, where we fucking pulled up?
Yeah, where we flew it over Kim Jong Un's palace.
Oh, yeah.
Opened the bomb bay doors so that everybody in the world could see us on radar. Closed the bomb bay doors and left.
Mm-hmm.
That's the kind of thing. It's like, contrary to popular belief, the best gun is in fact the one that you don't have to fire. But if you have to fire, once is enough.
Oh, yeah.
And the B2 Spirit and the Bone, the B-52, that's a message sending aircraft because it's old, it's slow, it's mean. It doesn't even. I think the B2 holds more ordnance, like not number of ordnance, but weight volume. It holds more and flies faster. We have the B-52 because we like sending messages to people, and it's a fun message to send. Because it's like the B2 in and out, we don't have to worry about it. The B1, we're sending in planes to help jam whatever. We're still gonna bomb. It's gonna send a message. The B-52, we're just making a spectacle out of this because clearly we know you can't touch us if we're sending that. I love the buff, but
I respect it.
But yeah, it's like, oh, this country's so big and bad. It's like, I would hate it if someone flew a B2 over my country and said that they could kill the leader of our country. I'm also not trying to, but I want my country to shut up and have a smaller government and stop doing stupid shit. And I want everyone else to do the same. I know they won't, which is why we need the B2.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely wish our government would really shut the fuck up, focus on America, and downsize quite a bit.
Yeah.
That is ideal. Because okay, so going back to
Yeah.
the licensing schemes, right? What if it's just a conspiracy to get to artificially create a bunch more mundane jobs to socially lobotomize people and effectively eliminate the potential for real creativity and freedom to do, I don't know, jobs that you actually want. I don't know. It feels like a fun little thought experiment, but what do I know? I don't think the government.
Before they blow up.
I don't think the government would ever do anything like that.
So, the licensing schemes for 90% of everything that requires a license is absolutely just a revenue stream for the state and other business owners and people to prevent business growth and competition. In the words of Wendigoon, Isaiah, friend of the channel, doesn't know it yet, but he is. If you think the U.S. government wouldn't, they would.
Can confirm.
Some of the
Or deny.
nonsense. Yeah. Oh my god. The quote unquote conspiracy theories. I love that a federal agency was able to create a word to make people look stupid.
Well, you know, we're all government agencies are to a degree, I feel like a facade.
Yeah.
I don't feel like any of them really do what they're supposed to be doing. Some of them aren't necessarily doing bad things.
I know
don't-
one right off the top that's literally not doing its job. Alcohol, tobacco, and firearms. The ATF is a tax collecting arm, which is the only reason that they existed was to collect the taxes from the NFA tax stamps. That's it. And then they became a quote unquote regulatory body. And then they started making up rules.
And interpreting laws and rules, and then making decisions and trying to like override or manipulate what a court ruling decided. And it's they absolutely abolished the ATF.
If you're ever wondering how stupid the ATF is, remember, back in the 90s, they categorized shoelaces as a machine gun.
How did I miss this one?
Because they quickly try to make people forget that they categorized loose shoelaces in the back of your car near your semi-automatic weapon as a machine gun. Intent. Because you can tie the shoelace up and there's enough springiness in it that you pull the trigger, and when it comes back forward, it tightens and pulls the trigger each time. It's a neat trick. It requires understanding physics, but it does work. Because, putting your thumb through your belt loop and pulling the gun against it with just the right amount of pressure wasn't something that everybody with an AK did, like, within the first day of owning an AK at the range.
I'm definitely guilty, and I'm also guilty of getting my hand bit for doing that.
Yeah.
AK is not really the fucking platform for that. I don't know why that's the one that we all settled on.
Because it's funny.
Because bleh.
Yeah. Rifle is fine.
Suka bleh.
Oh, man. And
Icky
these guys
breaky.
weed eating is making so much noise. I think this is probably the place to call it. Abolish the ATF. Abolish 90% of licensing schemes.
Yeah, like if it's not going to if it's not from something that can easily kill someone,
Yeah.
they probably don't really need that much of a license. Maybe the business needs the license and training through the state, but that should be enough to certify the employees there.
Exactly. Not everybody cutting hair needs a license. Yeah, so
Oh yeah, pedophiles also aren't people.
pedophiles aren't people. Epstein didn't kill himself. 90% of licenses are bullshit, and abolish the ATF. That's a fantastic day, in my opinion.
Fuck yeah, it is.